How many bugs are in it? Someone, or most people would have asked that, having played WWE 2K20, which was infamous for its horror glitches, but thankfully I can answer that question with not too many, and as a matter of fact, the gameplay is pretty fun. We love tons of things about wrestling games, but none of them matter if the gameplay is poor. But thankfully this isn't the case with 2K 2022. Visual concepts have found a happy medium between a more simplified control and advantage systems, between something that is far too complex for the average wrestling gamer. We're in a sweet spot here and it's fun to experience. The introduction of the block button combo and combo breakers are a godsend to the gameplay mechanic that have become stale. When you toss in the colliding dark collision system, the elimination of the most of the embarrassing glitches, and expanded backstage ball with versatility concept, you have one of the best playing WWE games in a long time. I feel like a 5-year-old saying this, but the pretty colours on the screen made me excited. The red, blue and every other hue comes through so vividly on the next generation console and the PC version. It's nearly as bright. It might sound like a small thing, but sweet colours make you want to keep playing matches and win over many fans from the outset. And just overall, the whole look at 2K 2022 is brilliant. There was more than one area of WWE 2K20 that remained strong. It was the creation suite. Quite honestly, the options available and the spectacular work by those community pumps into the areas into the last iteration when it seems to be on live support. Awesomely, the 2K 2022 creation suite is good, if not a little better. You can create entrance videos, which bummed out a few users, but something that has to be added to insist in what can be an overwhelming list of options is a persona template. Choosing from a various group of available personas can drastically speed up the creation process. Also, ability to create and edit existing and new arenas plus championships is back. The creation community hasn't been neglected with 2K 2022, which is more than can be said for other sports games. And WWE has cut more wrestlers than a ringside razor blade in the 1980s. The massive turnover was destined to affect the number of wrestlers included in the game. While we were without stars like Bray Wyatt, The Big Show, Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole due to the mass exodus, we still do have the likes of Johnny Gargano, Braun Strowman, Jeff Hardy and a few others who are no longer part of WWE. Add into this some solid DLC like the inclusions of Umaga, Yokozuna, Ronda Rousey, Logan Paul, Mr. T and much more. The game will round out with a strong roster after all. I love historical story modes in sports games. Quite frankly, we don't see enough of them, but WWE 2K Showcase being back and it features cover athlete Rey Mysterio. While some fans may have some beef with the matches you get to recreate Mysterio's virtual journey, the interpolation of real life footage and gameplay had me hooked early. It's just the right length to keep satisfied but not eager to hurry up and end already. It doesn't get a ton of attention, but the ability to play as any wrestler in Universe mode is strong. It's very similar to the old NBA 2K Create Superstar mode. If you want to play exclusively as Roman Reigns for a limited number of seasons, you can. Adding this to a more standard sandbox concepts associated with Universe mode was the smart move. And I have been writing this, been waiting on a WWE Collect mode in the 2K series, and it's finally here. With 2K My Fraction, it isn't in full effect quite yet, but 2K seems to have built a seed for an outstanding move that might wind up being the most popular way to play the game in a few years. You never know. Building a faction of stars is fun and not too grindy, where it feels like a hassle. But yeah, that's a good bit. Maybe let's just move on to some of the negatives now. Most 2K fans wanted a GM mode, but I'd venture to say none of us wanted an iteration of content that felt watered down and somewhat pointless, which kind of it does. Drafting superstars and managing the show's budget is great, but unfortunately the limited amount of matches you can have on the show, grouped with a cap on a number of seasons and an absence of any promo presentation, makes GM a tough sell. It's tough to imagine why someone wants to play my GM over Universe mode this year, to be honest. The graphics are mostly strong, but there are still some issues with the models. Specifically, characters who weren't scanned from head to toe are a little problematic. Also, it's weird about the proportions of the torsos around armpits. This is the smallest kind of little thing, but you know, it is noticeable and kind of does need to be mentioned. I get the logic in keeping my faction offline, but in its first year, people are hypersensitive about microtransaction and pay-to-win matches. Still, the mode is currently constructed is a massive tease to a more complete experience, like I said earlier, where you get to take a stable match up against someone online. Expanding the concept is going to lead to microtransactions and increase revenue for 2K, but it will also help the mode reach its potential once fully fleshed out. Moving on then, in my collector mode, diamond cards are always rated highly, winning goals, and any other gemstone blower. In 2K22, for some reason, superstars take precedence over the gemstone, thus a Tommaso Ciampa or say Chad Gable card can never be rated higher than a Roman Reigns or John Cena, even if it's more than one gemstone higher on the table. That someone defies the purpose of a collector mode. Those modes are about fantasy and alternate realities. It should feel different than a regular match from a rating standpoint. Not allowing me to have access to a Diamond Fandango robs me of a collector mode novelty. And yeah, the match types are mostly the same as they have been in recent years. This means 2K 2022 doesn't offer special referee gauntlet matches, I-Quit matches, lumberjack matches, or war games, which is obviously much requesting. Having these would definitely improve the overall experience. But yeah, just in total, this is a re-establishment year for WWE 2K series. Let's face it, 2K20 was just rough and terrible, and while it took more than 2 years to develop, 2K has re-emerged with a strong and not only playable wrestling game, but definitely a fun one. The engine is better and the basics are tighter, but we're looking forward to much more layers in the future, and I definitely think that's what this game has done, just laid the future. And yeah, I think it's going to be bright for 2K and WWE. Hey guys, that's the video. Thanks so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, maybe thoughts, comments down below. Follow to thanks for watching for daily wrestling news and subscribe to my channel. Screw on, I'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.